Welcome back to our channel, Valuable Coins Hub. These rare $quarter coins make people rich. Let's find out why. Don't miss out one of these who know a single coin could make you rich. Number 1. Today we're diving deep into one of the most mysterious and surprisingly valuable coins from the United States. The 1984 Washington quarter dollar. You may have seen one before or even passed it up without thinking twice. But trust me, after hearing what we're about to reveal, you'll never look at this coin the same way again. This is not just a simple piece of metal. It's a piece of history, packed with secrets and potential value that could leave you in total shock. So if you're a serious collector, a curious beginner, or just someone who loves a good treasure hunt, don't go anywhere. I'm going to tell you about its hidden value, the unique errors that have made it shoot up in demand, and the collector tips that could lead you to a small fortune. You really don't want to miss a single second of this. Let's take a moment to rewind to 1984, an important year in U.S. coinage. The Washington quarter was still going strong as the dominant 25-cent piece in circulation, featuring George Washington's iconic portrait on the front, facing left, with the word liberty boldly above and the motto "I in God, we trust" right beneath his chin. On the reverse, that majestic eagle stands with wings spread wide, perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches underneath. A strong image of power and peace that defines American symbolism. Now here's where things get really interesting. Even though millions of these coins were minted that year, not all 1984 quarters are created equal. In fact, some of them are absolute goldmines because of tiny errors made at the mint that most people never even notice. We're talking about extremely rare mistakes like double die strikes, off-center minting, and even coins where parts of the design are missing or lightly stamped. These are the kinds of coins that collectors dream of finding, because they stand out, they're hard to come by, and when found in excellent condition, they can sell for a very surprising amount. One of the most well-known errors on the 1984 quarter is the double die obverse. This is where parts of the coin's front design, like the word liberty or the date 1984, appear slightly doubled because of a minting mistake. And if the doubling is clear and strong, especially visible without a magnifying glass, your coin might just be sitting in the jackpot zone. There are also 1984 quarters that were struck off-center, giving them a dramatically lopsided look that catches the eye immediately. These are super rare and can make your coin stand out like a trophy in any collection. And let's not forget about condition. That's everything when it comes to coins. If you happen to find a 1984 quarter in uncirculated or mint state condition, meaning it hasn't been touched much, if at all, by regular handling, you've got something truly special in your hands. Coins with strong luster, no scratches, and full details can sell for serious money depending on the buyer, location, and how rare that specific variation is. Collectors in places like New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago have paid surprisingly high prices at auctions and local coin shows for a high-grade 1984 quarter with a known mint error. And here's a little tip for every passionate coin collector watching right now. Always check your quarters under strong lighting. Tilt the coin and look closely at the letters, numbers, and edges. If anything looks slightly off or unique, you might have just discovered a rare variation that most people would overlook. Also, keep your coins safe in clear holders or protective flips, especially if they look shiny and untouched. Condition matters more than you might think, and it can be the difference between a coin worth face value and one worth hundreds or more. Another tip for beginners: don't always rush to sell right away. Sometimes, holding onto a rare coin for a few years while the market grows can boost your return when collectors become more eager to complete their sets. Watch the demand online, at auctions, and in collector circles, because the coin world is always moving, and values can surprise you when you least expect it. Now, let's get to the part that everyone's been waiting for. What kind of price are we really talking about when it comes to a rare or error-filled 1984 Washington quarter? Well, while the original market value of this coin was just 25 cents, some rare versions of the 1984 quarter with dramatic mint errors and in uncirculated condition have sold in auctions for up to $2,000 or even more. That's right, 25 cents turning into $2,000. Coins like that have shown up in sales in cities like San Diego and Philadelphia and have fetched big attention from experienced dealers and passionate collectors. Even more modestly rare examples, like those with slight doubling or mild off-center errors, have been known to sell for hundreds of dollars depending on their grade and uniqueness. So just imagine the potential hiding in your own pocket change or old family coin jar. That's the magic of this hobby. You never know what treasure you're holding until you take a closer look. The 1984 quarter may seem common on the surface, but for those who know what to look for, it's a silent gem with serious value waiting to be uncovered. Thanks so much for joining us today. This kind of knowledge is what makes coin collecting exciting and rewarding. If you enjoyed this discovery and want more insights into rare US coins and hidden valuables in your own change, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss a single future video. Number 2. This video is not just about any regular coin you might find in your pocket or coin jar. It's about something with hidden power. A piece of history that might look ordinary but has the potential to surprise even the most experienced collector. We're talking about the 1988 United States quarter dollar. And believe me when I say you're going to want to stick around for this one till the very end because the rarity, the beauty, and the collector value behind this coin might just leave you speechless. Now, if you think the 1988 quarter is just another everyday coin that's been around forever, think again. Because there's a world of mystery and money tied to it. What makes this coin so fascinating isn't just its age or design. It's the small details that most people miss. The subtle minting errors, the rare varieties, the sharp uncirculated examples. Those are the things that send collectors into a frenzy. And if you're a coin lover like me, you know that even a single tiny difference can make a coin go from pocket change to prized treasure in a heartbeat. The design itself may seem familiar. It still carries the proud portrait of George Washington on the front, with liberty shining across the top and the year 1988 boldly placed at the bottom. But sometimes it's the familiar that holds the biggest surprises. And the reverse of this coin has that classic eagle standing tall on a bundle of arrows with olive branches underneath. A symbol of strength and peace wrapped into one powerful image. But don't let the classic design fool you. This coin is a treasure trove for sharp-eyed collectors. Now here's the part that gets collectors all over the country talking. Some of these 1988 quarters were struck with mint errors so rare and fascinating that they have become the talk of coin shows and collector forums. There have been reported examples with off-center strikes where the entire image is shifted to one side, giving the coin a dramatic and almost artistic look. These are not your regular quarters. These are eye-catchers that people will pay real money for. And then we have the famous double die errors. Sometimes the letters like Liberty or I in God We Trust show signs of doubling. Slight, yes, but unmistakable under the right light. These errors were the result of the die striking the coin twice with a small shift in position. And when you find one with strong visible doubling, especially on a coin that still has its original shine and no scratches, you've got something truly valuable on your hands. Now here's something many beginners don't know. The Philadelphia Mint produced a large number of these quarters in 1988, but because of quality control at the time, a number of them left the mint with small but significant issues. That's why experienced collectors are always on the hunt for these rare variations, especially those who search coin rolls or go through bulk lots from estate sales and auctions. You never know when one will pop up with just the right mix of rarity and condition to fetch a big offer. And for collectors watching right now, let me share a tip that has helped many people spot valuable coins others missed. Always check your coins in natural daylight and rotate them slowly to spot unusual features. Even small shifts in lettering, missing details, or weak strikes can signal a rare variety. And if you find a coin that looks slightly different than usual, hold on to it and have it checked by a grading service before deciding what to do next. A professional opinion could multiply your coin's value instantly. Also, don't underestimate the importance of storage. Coins with no scratches, no finger oils, and full mint luster are always in higher demand. Use protective holders and never clean your coins. That natural patina and untouched surface is part of their magic. Collectors are drawn to coins that look like they just came out of the mint, even if they're over 30 years old like the 1988 quarter. And if you're someone who loves attending auctions or browsing through flea markets and antique shops, this is the coin you should be keeping an eye out for. In cities like Denver, Chicago, and Miami, local coin shows have seen 1988 era quarters pull in a lot of interest from collectors and investors who know exactly what they're looking at. This is not a coin to ignore. It's one to chase. Now let's talk about the part you've all been waiting for. The value. The original face value of the 1988 quarter was of course just 25 cents. But when you factor in mint errors, strong condition, and the rising demand in the collector world, this coin has been known to sell in certain auction houses for as much as $1,500. That's right. What was once worth just a quarter could now be worth over $1,500 depending on where and how you find it. And remember, coins in the best shape, especially those with visible doubling, off-center strikes, or other clear minting flaws, are always in the highest demand. Even more so when they're graded by professionals and sealed in protective slabs. Collectors love knowing exactly what they're getting, and certified coins tend to bring in higher prices at coin shops and online marketplaces. So don't take that old quarter for granted. Look closely, pay attention to the details, and always keep your eyes open for something special, because the next time you're going through your change, you might just find a little piece of American history worth a whole lot more than anyone expected. Number 3, we're going deep into the story of the United States of America 1971 quarter dollar. A coin that might look common to the untrained eye, but it holds a world of mystery, rarity, and possibly even fortune inside its rim. Now don't blink or skip anything, because I'm about to reveal things most people don't know about the 1971 quarter. This isn't just about the face value or the age of the coin. It's about the hidden errors, the minting mistakes, the small things that make a big difference in value. These are the exact reasons collectors are going crazy over certain 1971 quarters today, and why you might just have something truly valuable in your collection or change jar right now. Let's take a quick step back in time to 1971. America was in the middle of transformation, and the Washington quarter was still carrying the classic, dignified portrait of George Washington on the obverse, facing left with the word liberty boldly above his head and the famous words "I in God we trust" right beneath his chin. The reverse kept the proud eagle with outstretched wings perched over arrows and olive branches, a design filled with strength, history, and American pride. But here's the part that gets every collector's heart racing. Not every 1971 quarter was made perfectly. In fact, some of the most valuable ones were the result of tiny imperfections made during the minting process. Things that only happen once in a while, and when they do, they instantly create collectible magic. There are examples of the 1971 quarter struck on the wrong planchet, meaning the coin was made using metal intended for another denomination like a penny or a foreign coin. This kind of error is extremely rare and valuable. Other prized errors include off-center strikes, which give the coin a dramatic and unbalanced appearance that really stands out from the rest. There are even double die quarters from 1971 where you can spot slight overlapping of letters or numbers, especially in the word liberty or the date 1971. These double impressions happened when the coin die struck the blank more than once but slightly misaligned. When these doubling effects are strong and visible, the coin can go from common to absolutely coveted. Now, if you're holding a 1971 quarter right now or plan to search through a roll of quarters soon, listen closely because this next part is for you. First thing you want to look at is the condition. If your coin still has sharp details, clean edges, and strong original shine without wear or scratches, then congratulations. You've got a higher grade piece that could be worth a lot more than you think. That luster is gold to collectors. Another important detail is to examine the edges. 1971 was after the era of silver quarters, but a few unusual planchet errors have been found that contain traces of silver or were struck on leftover blanks from earlier years. These mistakes are extremely rare, but they're out there, and when found, they can demand big prices at auctions in places like Las Vegas, Dallas, and New York. Here's a little tip for all passionate collectors watching right now. Never judge a coin just by its shine or age. You've got to take your time with a magnifier or good lighting and look carefully at the date, the lettering, the rim, and both sides of the coin. Even tiny irregularities in spacing or texture can mean you're looking at a rare variety. And always keep your coins in clear protective holders to preserve their natural condition, especially if you suspect you have something special. Now let's talk about how much this seemingly simple quarter could be worth. While the original market value of the 1971 quarter was just 25 cents, some error varieties in mint state condition or certified by grading agencies have sold for as much as $3,000 at collector shows and online auctions. That's right, $3,000 for a coin that may have been sitting quietly in someone's pocket change or in a jar for decades without anyone knowing its true value. And it's not just about high-end auctions either. Local collectors in cities like Atlanta, Seattle, and Detroit are actively hunting for error coins from the 70s because this was a period of transition and inconsistency at the US Mint. That makes every coin from that era a potential treasure waiting to be discovered. And the 1971 quarter is one of the most overlooked gems among them. So next time you're sorting through your old coins or getting change back from the store, take a closer look before you spend that quarter. You never know if you're holding a small piece of minting history that's ready to bring big rewards. Because what looks like ordinary to someone else could be a true prize for someone who knows what to watch for. Number 4. We're shining a spotlight on a coin that many people see every day but never truly see. The 1973 United States quarter dollar. Now this isn't just another old quarter tossed in a jar or passed around without a second thought. No, this is one of those coins that hides its true beauty and rarity beneath the surface. So if you're a collector, a hobbyist, or even just someone who enjoys a good mystery, don't skip a single second of this video. We're going to uncover everything from the stunning design to the surprising errors that have made certain 1973 quarters shoot up in demand. Let's go back to 1973 for a moment. It was a year of change, of innovation, and yes, of powerful coinage. The Washington quarter still featured the timeless portrait of George Washington facing left, the word liberty stretching above his head like a banner of pride, and "I in God we trust" placed just beneath his chin like a quiet vow, and at the bottom, that bold date, 1973, stamped into the metal like a moment frozen in history. Flip that coin over and you're greeted by the magnificent eagle, wings spread wide, standing tall on a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath. This image isn't just art. It's a message of strength and peace combined, a design that stood the test of time. But here's the thing, not every 1973 quarter came out of the mint perfectly. And this is where collectors perk up, because the real value lies not just in the age or look of the coin, but in the tiny, rare mistakes made during production. Certain 1973 quarters were struck off-center, with the design visibly shifted to one side, creating a dramatic and highly sought-after error that immediately grabs attention at auctions and coin shows. Then you have the double-die varieties, where the letters or numbers, especially Liberty and the date, appear doubled if you look closely under proper lighting. It's subtle but unmistakable, and these small details can push your coin into a whole new category of value. Even more exciting are those ultra-rare cases where the quarter was struck on a wrong planchet, like on a blank meant for a nickel or even a foreign coin. These minting accidents are almost impossible to fake, and when authenticated, they bring in serious money from experienced collectors who recognize how truly limited they are. Now, if you're just getting into coin collecting, or maybe you've been doing it for years and want to sharpen your eye, listen carefully to this tip. Always check your 1973 quarters under natural light or a good LED source and tilt the coin slowly as you inspect it. Look for any doubling in the words or numbers, any unusual gaps in the design, or surfaces that seem too smooth or too rough. A small irregularity might be your ticket to something incredibly rare. And don't forget the importance of condition. A 1973 quarter in uncirculated or mint state condition, meaning no scratches, no handling damage, full luster, can be in high demand even without an error. So if you've got one that looks sharp and shiny, protect it immediately in a holder and consider getting it graded by a trusted service like PCGS or NGC. That seal of quality will boost your coin's credibility and market value almost instantly. Collectors in cities like San Francisco, Houston, and Tampa have been known to pay impressive sums for rare variations of this exact coin at coin shows and estate auctions. It's all about knowing what to look for and acting fast when you find it. So what's the original value of this coin? Well, when it left the mint in 1973, this quarter was worth exactly 25 cents. That's its face value, just a regular part of everyday change. But depending on the error, the condition, and the uniqueness of your 1973 quarter, this small coin has been known to sell for as much as $2,500 in certain US auctions and collector events. That's right, just 25 cents turning into $2,500. All because of a small imperfection that makes your coin stand out from the millions that look just like it on the surface. That's what makes coin collecting so powerful and rewarding. It's the idea that hidden among the ordinary are treasures waiting to be found. And the 1973 quarter is one of those treasures that continues to surprise collectors even after all these years. Number 5. And this last video is going to take you into the world of one of the most exciting and surprisingly valuable coins hiding right under our noses. If you've ever held a 1982 United States quarter dollar in your hand and thought it was just regular pocket change, you're about to have your mind blown, because this coin is packed with unique history, unexpected errors, and rare variations that could turn that little quarter into something truly special. Now don't miss a second of this, because I'm going to walk you through the thrilling details of why the 1982 quarter is not just a coin. It's a potential treasure. There's a reason collectors are going crazy over it and hunting down certain versions with extreme focus. It's one of those coins that quietly hides its value in plain sight, and the right one in the right condition can bring in serious attention and serious money. Let's go back to 1982 for just a moment. It was a very significant year for U.S. coin production. And here's where things start getting interesting, because in that year, due to budget constraints and changing minting processes, the U.S. Mint made a few unusual decisions. In fact, one of the biggest ones was that no official mint sets were issued for circulation coins in 1982. That might sound small, but it had a huge impact, because it meant fewer pristine examples of coins from that year were saved by collectors right from the start. Now, that alone already gives the 1982 quarter a certain rarity. But wait till you hear about the varieties. There were two main versions produced that year, one from the Philadelphia Mint and one from the Denver Mint. And here's where it gets wild. Some of the 1982 quarters were struck with a weak or missing mint mark, especially from the Philadelphia batch. Imagine a coin that's missing one of the most basic identifying features. That alone makes it a huge conversation piece among collectors. And on top of that, many of the 1982 quarters were struck on planchets that weren't fully prepared or finished correctly, which means the metal surface sometimes looks rough, grainy, or even incomplete. These types of surface issues, when extreme or unusual, turn into mint errors that collectors absolutely love to find, because they prove that your coin is something far from ordinary. There are also known examples of 1982 quarters with off-center strikes, where the whole image is shifted in a way that gives the coin a unique and dramatic look. These are especially rare in high grades and always get attention at coin shows and auctions, because they're one-of-a-kind finds that most people never see in their lifetime. Now, if you're someone who's already collecting or just starting out in the coin world, I want you to really pay attention to this part. You always want to check your 1982 quarters carefully under good lighting and tilt the coin at an angle to examine both sides. Look at the edge and check if the reading is sharp and even. Look at the letters in Liberty and the numbers in the date. Do they seem normal, or do you spot some doubling or misalignment? Even a slight error could be the difference between a common coin and one worth hundreds or more. And if you're lucky enough to find a 1982 quarter in uncirculated or mint state condition, meaning it hasn't been handled, scratched, or worn, you've got something very exciting. Because remember, since no mint sets were released that year, finding a 1982 quarter in pristine condition is already tough, making it more desirable for collectors all over the country. People in cities like Boston, Phoenix, and Dallas have paid high premiums at coin shops and live auctions for 1982 quarters that display rare mint errors or are in top-grade condition. These coins don't just sit in display cases. They change hands in serious deals between investors and seasoned collectors who understand just how valuable this one year can be. So even though the original market value of the 1982 quarter was just 25 cents, there have been rare examples, especially those with visible mint errors or sharp uncirculated shine, that have sold for as much as $1,800 in auction settings. Yes, you heard that right. 25 cents turning into $1,800 depending on condition and error type. That's the magic of coin collecting. You never know when an ordinary-looking coin could reveal something extraordinary. The 1982 United States quarter dollar is proof that history, rarity, and beauty can all come together in one small silver-toned piece of metal. So if you've got some old quarters lying around, don't overlook them, especially if they're from 1982. Take the time to examine them carefully, protect the good ones, and always be on the lookout for those special variations that could turn into a dream discovery. Thank you so much for being here with us today and taking the time to explore another thrilling coin mystery. If you loved this video and want to stay updated with more rare coin stories, collector tips, and valuable finds, make sure to tap that like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell so you're always the first to know what treasure might be hiding next. Stay sharp, stay curious, and as always, happy collecting.